How's it going, everyone? We have some big updates on a game that I think is gonna get a lot of attention in the coming months as we head into the summer, and that is Wuchang Fallen Feathers. We have a closer look at the game's combat. I want to give you guys some insight on the game, a lot of it coming from the new post over at the PlayStation blog, and some general information about the game as well, so we'll talk about that after we cover Wuchang Fallen Feather. I also want to give you guys a heads up on some classic titles making their way to PS4 and PS5 coming from a development studio, the Behemoth, great studio there, and we'll cover a brand new indie action RPG at the end of this video as well, so more on that in a little bit. But the bulk of the video is gonna be on Wuchang Fallen Feathers. This is a game that is coming out in July, and I think it's got a lot going for it. If this game ends up being a pretty good game, I think it could end up doing it very, very well for a wide variety of reasons, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but newly revealed is a closer look at the Souls-like combat, highlighting a lot of the depth of the combat. Now, this is coming from Stefan Tukowski, Ghost Runner community manager over at 505 Games. On the PlayStation blog, from the first moment you step into the brutal lands of Shu, Wuchang Fallen Feathers makes one thing clear. Survival isn't gifted, it is earned. Throughout your journey, you'll need to master an arsenal of weapons, spells, and abilities to overcome the harrowing challenges of the Souls-like action RPG set in the waning years of the Ming Dynasty. We've got a lot of insight on the depth of the gameplay, where you'll have a diverse arsenal of blades and brutality. Each weapon in Wuchang is tied to a piece of the game's world building. From sacred relics to myth-imbued prototypes, every blade tells a story and every strike leaves a mark. They go over the Dragonlance, a deluxe edition spear. Its striking silver-white weapon featuring a traditional design, a quail dragon motif wraps around the junction of the shaft and the spearhead, symbolizing the wielder's courage and valor. Weapons in Wuchang each have their own unique skills, and with the Vortex Thrust skill for the Dragonlance, you can unleash shockwaves with devastating force, making it ideal for punishing multiple enemies at once. Abilities that shape the warrior. Wuchang is noted to be fluid, fast, and fiercely deliberate, with a broad range of abilities that define how you approach each fight. One standout is Blade Dance, a whirling assault that slices through the enemies while showcasing your mastery of dual blades. The Crescent Arc, a forward-lunging slash imbued with ethereal energy, closing distance and shifting momentum with measured precision. Prefer power over speed. Colossal Smash delivers a thunderous overhead strike that leaves a trail of destruction in its wake, ideal for breaking enemy posture or interrupting spellcasters mid-cast. Every ability in Wuchang evolves through skill trees and Red Mercury enhancements, adding layers of strategy beyond raw force. Spells drawn from Myth and Madness. It's also got an in-depth spell system, one of the most visually striking elements of its design, drawing from Taoist ritual, ancient folklore, and operatic symbolism. These aren't just tools of destruction, they're storytelling vessels that bind your journey to the world's unraveling lore. They give some insight on Eternal Flames that casts a searing mask that torments enemies with divine rage based on an ancient opera ritual meant to summon wrathful spirits. On the opposite end of the spectrum is a Lotus Soul Flame, a ritual spell used in spirit exorcisms that unleashes devastating elemental damage as well. We've also got Echo of Wuchang, a chilling surge of ice named after a loyal Ming general. The spell can knock targets back with the force to disrupt aggressive momentum and create space in critical encounters. And then you've also got a pretty unique feathering system as well, a supernatural affliction that grants immense power at great personal cost. As Wuchang absorbs Red Mercury and defeats corrupted monstrosities, she unlocks devastating abilities and spells rooted in transformation. Feathering allows players to unleash deadly skills and spells mid-combat, turning the tide of battle in an instant, but each use chips away at stability, demanding tactical restraint. You risk transforming in the middle of a fight to deliver explosive damage, knowing it might leave you vulnerable, or hold your strength in reserve until the moment you're truly cornered. It looks like weighing when to use your feathering abilities is going to be a heart of the core gameplay and combat at the game. Interesting to see how that transpires. But that's just a little bit of the insight to the gameplay of Wuchang Fallen Feathers. The game is quickly approaching. It's coming out July 23rd, and let me just say, I think this game's got a lot of elements working for it. First of all, that end of July, middle of July period, usually an absolute dead period for major games coming out. I know there's stuff like Donkey Kong Bonanza, I think, is coming out in early July. But for the game that Wuchang Fallen Feathers is, there's not gonna be a lot of competition. It's not like this is coming out at the end of August alongside Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, Lost Soul Aside, Gears of War Reloaded, where I do think there would be some crossover with all of those games. I think coming out at the end of July is incredibly advantageous and a really good spot for Wuchang Fallen Feathers to be. Oh, and there's been a thing we've been talking a lot about in gaming recently, an advantageous element to put yourself in, and that is the fact that Wuchang Fallen Feathers is in fact a $50 game. We just saw the incredible success of Oblivion Remaster, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and you know, Elden Ring Night Rain is leaning off a major IP, but that's also a $40 game, and you know, having 300,000 concurrent players on Steam, while that's not as much as OG Elden Ring, nobody was expecting it to be that big, it's still doing pretty damn well. And Wuchang Fallen Feathers, I think, being on the basis of it being a $50 game, it coming out at a time frame where there aren't a lot of big games coming out, I think that's gonna do it a lot of good. With the pre-order bonus, you will get the Night and White Pack, you'll get the White Spectre and Night Spectre enhanced costume sets, the Vermilion War Club axe, and the glistening Red Mercury skill upgrade item as well. That'll be available for you. On top of that, if you're gonna be playing this game on PC and you want it even cheaper, our friends over at Green Man Gaming are hooking it up where the base game is 22% off for $39. Yes, on PC, you can get this game for $39 a Steam key. I'll leave a link. They do support the channel, so you should support them. And if you're going to be playing it on PC or Xbox, it'll also be available on Xbox Game Pass, so you can play it that way. Expedition 33 also available on Game Pass and did very well with the $50 price tag. I think it's just got a lot of things working for it. The time period that it's coming out, if it's even a remotely decent game, I think it's going to end up doing very well. I think the character design is quite good as well. You know, it doesn't hurt to have an aesthetically pleasing main character, to say the least. I mean, you know, if you want to take some notes off how Stellar Blade did, you know, more power to you. But it looks like it's got a lot of style and flashiness to it, and at the same time, a lot of depth to its combat as well. There is a deluxe edition for $59.99. Once again, our friends at GMG do have that discounted for $46.79 instead of $59.99. That'll get you the Soul Ritual Robe, the Tiger of Fortune, Overlord's Regalia, Draconic Resurgence as well, and a bunch of in-game items and skill points as well. So if you're into Souls-like action RPGs, certainly one to keep on your radar and will be available on Xbox Game Pass. Alright, next up, Alien Hominid Invasion and Alien Hominid HD for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 will be dropping on June the 10th. A classic here. Both games will be available separately for $11.99, and they will also be available in the extraterrestrial bundle. Alien Hominid Invasion notes old friends and bitter enemies await as you invade Earth alongside a mothership full of alien friends. Blast, bam, and bite your way through an endless swarm of enemies as you and up to 3 of your fellow hominids cause mayhem with a huge arsenal of weapons, mutations, and acrobatic maneuvers. Abduct intel from your enemies to sabotage their plans, observe the oddities of human life, blow up bosses, and mutate into a variety of powerful alien forms in order to take down the not-so-secret agents that are dead set on ruining your day. You've got up to 4 players online or offline, 3 difficulty levels, mix and match modifiers, and destroy the enemy HQ. Alien Hominid HD will have 3 difficulty options as well, 201 levels of PDA games, Super Soviet Missile Master, All You Can Eat, Neutron Ball, Pinata Fiesta, and Challenge Mode as well. The game is going to come with a bunch of upgrades as well. Alien Hominid Invasion and Alien Hominid HD initially dropped on Xbox Series, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on Steam back in November of 2023. Nice to see them finally make the transition to PS4 and PS5 come June the 11th. Lastly, the developers of Astral Assault will be bringing forth a brand new action RPG in Fallen Fates. Fallen Fates has you venture into a vast 2D pixel art fantasy world, face relentless battles, and forge your destiny with vivid companions as you unravel the truth behind the falling crystals. Crystals are falling from the sky, tearing through the land of Talos and unleashing mysterious creatures and destruction. Once a world shaped by magic, Talos now face a devastation as cities crumble and strange forces spread. In a last effort to survive, humans merge with magical beings to create powerful warriors, explore a world on the brink, uncover its secrets, and fight to protect what remains. Beautiful landscapes ready to be explored. Be a master of your own fate, because destiny is not set in stone. Customize and upgrade both heroes' physical and magical skills. 2 minds, 1 one body, multiple fates fallen onto the same path as well. Got that same throwback visual aesthetic that Astral Ascent had. Fallen Fates doesn't have a scheduled release yet, but there is going to be a Kickstarter campaign as well that'll be looking to kick off in September of this year. So more on that to come, but looks like it's still fairly early on, but hopefully we'll get some updates with the Kickstarter campaign. That's going to do it for me again. I think Wuchang Fallen Feathers has the opportunity to be a sleeper big success this year with the $50 price tag and that release timing where there's not going to be a lot of other big games coming out. You know, a game that is really great can do well in spite of big games coming out around the same time, a la Expedition 33 right around the time of Oblivion Remastered, but certainly it's beneficial to be the only game in town, and that's what it looks like for Wuchang Fallen Feathers at the $50 price point on Xbox Game Pass, and even cheaper from our friends at GMG. Alien Hominid Invasion and Alien Hominid HD are both coming to PlayStation 4 and 5 on June the 10th, and Fallen Fates, a brand new game from the Astral Ascent developers, will be dropping sometime in the future. A Kickstarter will be coming September 25. That'll be doing it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.